Is good governance a threat to the system? Should it be? Can it be? In which way? How does government and governance, where do they meet?
Shall I go last?
I would have thought good governance is a threat to bad behaviour.
Yeah.
Effective, proper governance, good governance, will drive out bad actors, you would hope. And I think the other encouraging point, following on from what Michael just saying, I think the British people, if we're talking mainly to a British audience today, do have a limited appetite for shamelessness. And that is a difference between us and America. I think something odd has happened in America, with almost half the country adopting or pursuing a different form of reality and facts to the other half. That hasn't happened here, thank goodness. And that's also an encouraging thought, perhaps that, you know, that sometimes people have just had enough of bad behaviour collectively, and this might be the moment we're in now. So good governance is good. The clue's in the name.
I see good governance as absolutely central to the culture of organisations. And if you've got a culture of good governance, you're engaging with the people who work in the organisation and the stakeholders and agreeing outcomes that are increasing value, as you said at the very beginning, Andrew. Which means I also see good governance as the permission to think differently, because we can't say we're in a good space at the moment. So we need different kinds of governance for the next decade in terms of being able to get different decisions that are better for all of us. So if we see good governance as the culture of the organisation, as the permission to think differently, then in a sense it needs to be accountable, but not in a tick box way. And I think that's incredibly important. Otherwise, the system takes over from the outcomes. So it's good governance is about achieving the outcomes of better value while having a system that is accountable but light enough to release the imagination.
I know the problem, but I don't know the answer. The problem, take the issue of tax. If you ask me to make an argument for a lower rate of tax, I could do it. If you ask me to make the argument for a higher rate of tax, I could do it. You know, do we want a lower tax rate so we can pay off the national debt, so rich people can keep more of their money? Do we want higher tax rates for redistribution, for investment? It'd be quite good to have a public debate about that. And you flush out people's views. And I'm not saying anybody's right. I have my own views. I quite think public services and redistribution are quite a good thing. So they're my views, but they're not the right views, they're my views. And there are other views. Let's have a public debate, but we don't have a public debate. Everybody's scared stiff. It's either lower tax rates or don't lower tax rates, but not what kind of society do we want and where does the taxation, etc. We don't have this public debate, and I don't see how we can have good governance without it. And as I say, I can see the problem. I'm not sure what the solution is to, firstly, stop attacking the BBC, allow that to be a good forum for that debate, have our media to be more like the Financial Times, you know, where those debates happen. Much more in the FT than they do in much of the rest of the media. So I don't have a solution to this, but it has to be an important part of good governance.
Thank you. Andrew, you're going to come with some closing words on the last question?
I shall come with some closing words on the last question. Am I coming with the closing words to the whole event?
No, because we've got Jacko to bring in yet.
That will come. I think that,
we'll come back to you.
If you look at the figures for the huge number of third sector organisations there are in this country, or just clubs, you know, there's an enormous number of citizens, millions of us, in some way or another, put their name forward to help run something, and they sit on a board, whether it's a local swimming group or it's you know, a multinational organisation. And I think that there's encouragement in any system where people say, yes, I will take on accountability for an organisation or an entity. And I think actually that's a very noble thing. I love my work, and the people we work with, the people who sit on boards, the people who ensure that the governance processes work, strike me as people of enormous personal integrity who know that our time on this planet is but brief, and what they do should matter, and they do it by wanting to ensure that whether it's for, as I said, the local swimming group or a multinational, runs well, effectively and with integrity. And actually a governance system is one where the sum of the parts is less than the whole that is created.
Thank you for that. I just wanted to add to that I'm on the board of a voluntary sector organisation that works with homeless people, as you know. Mm-hmm. And I think without that board, that charity would not have survived. I know it's a requirement legally to have a board, but the people who give their time freely to make it happen and to bring in their extra resources and time and commitment and expertise, they are what's best about being in this country. And that relates back to your theme about community organisation and Jaydeep's theme as well. So that's a really nice closing note for that, so thank you.